know how this all goes. I have multiple videos. Go back and check them out if you need a recap. However, do not trust corporations.
That's exactly what you did. Didn't you tell people that PlayStation is not full-on third-party and they would never do something like this? Man, the copium at its finest, bro. You was definitely sipping on that Coca-Cola. It took you 5 days to respond with this garbage? Matter of fact, weren't you the same dude advocating that Sony would potentially block those same games on Steam if it's ever on the Xbox handheld, just to find out that Sony would rather publish the game themselves for the Xbox gamers to play the game anyway? Like, what is you talking about, man? And the funny thing is, there's more games coming. Because at the end of the day, man, you fanboys are starting to come to the realization that all this console exclusivity never really mattered in the end.
Do not trust corporations. This does not mean this could be the end of things.
Look at that uncomfortable life. It's me, Xvault, and I don't like egg, folks. The same dude that bought 3 copies of Concord, you big dummy. You know, like I said, man, you way too old for this, bro. You got gray hair on your bed, man, and you still doing this garbage, bro. Come on, man. Like, just give it up already, man. Just admit that you was wrong and give Boomstick his proper apology, because you used that man a lot in your videos just to find out that you was a part of your own salty batch files, which is crazy.
First-party games to Xbox now. What others would Xbox players like to see next? Right? Putting out that foretold equivalency, right? Think I did this right, didn't I? Hashtag the whole slate. So again,
look at that. All the stuff that you said about Xbox, and now look at it. Now you got PlayStation themselves porting their own games to Xbox, even though you guys have said the system is dead. Do you understand how that doesn't make any sense? That you claim for a system to be dead just to see these games inevitably popping on the same platform that you guys keep telling people that is no longer going to be here anymore?
Even these PC, Xbox refugee folks are wanting to see the downfall of PlayStation so bad. They're waiting on bated breath here, hoping to see some sort of...
No, we want to see the downfall of you fanboys. And that's exactly what's happening. How is this going to be the downfall of Sony if they're going to make more money by putting the game on more platforms? That makes absolutely no sense, bro. And this goes to show you that you people have no clue as to what's going on in this market, even considering how high the budgets of these games have become. That just goes to show you that you people are so far out of the loop from the 1980s and 90s that you don't know what's really going on here, bro. No wonder these companies are starting to stop playing fake pretend with you. They're over that. Sony's like, no, we're going to show them that we're... Because you guys want to act like you're shocked, but they've already did it with MLB. They did it with Predator Hunting Grounds. They've also did it with Death Stranding. Sony owns a part of that game. If you look up Death Stranding 2, it says it's published and owned by Sony Interactive. Oh, but they showed it to Kojima. Bro, that's what Sony wants you to believe. They've been lying to you the whole time. As soon as I seen Death Stranding 2, I knew that they were going to put more games on Xbox. You were the people that believe in all this terminology. Oh, Sony, oh, look at that's 505 Publishing. That's not Sony doing it. Oh, no, they were using other publishers to put... Sony has done this back on the PS1 and 2. What are you talking about? They did the same thing with Final Fantasy VII. You know what, man? This is why when you try to explain gaming knowledge to these people, they're like, huh? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on here.
Such like that. So that crack being Helldivers 2, 8 games as a service game that has run its course.
And you know it's another game of a service game? Gran Turismo. Matter of fact, I'm also hearing that the reason why Forza Motorsport got canceled, and they're going to focus on the Horizon series instead, which does make a lot of sense, is because that Xbox and PC is going to get this game coming up next. That's what I've been hearing. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. But I will say one thing, when it does happen, you make sure you give me my credit, or should I say, hand me my flowers. That's all I'm saying.
On PlayStation, and wants, as a game as a service, wants more players. We're getting stuff like Marathon.
Oh, here we go.
You're getting other games as well.
But you didn't say that about Sea of Thieves. You didn't say that about all the other games that came over from Xbox. Y'all were celebrating, calling it the full slate of victory. And I'm saying and telling you that exclusives don't matter anymore. You don't see it. You know, Sony was playing fake pretend. They were making it seem as if they weren't putting games on the competition, but they were. I mean, Sony has been doing it. Tomba, a lot of these games were showing up on Nintendo Switch. Lego Horizons, you capped for that, saying it was more of a Lego thing. It wasn't Sony. Sony did, Sony don't own Lego. Bro, you guys have been capping for so long, bro. I just think the problem with this is that once you finally seen that Sony's like, we don't care. We're publishing this game and we're showing you that we're doing this. That's when you're like, oh, all that copium, all that Coca-Cola that y'all been drinking for the past few years, it just started drying up your throat. You're like, you started gasping for air because you realized out of all that Coca-Cola that you was drinking, that you're like, it couldn't quench your thirst anymore. It dried it up like a desert.
But we're slated to be across the board, right? That strategy for games as a service hasn't changed. There's a lot of hands in the pot in regards to Arrowhead Studios and stuff like that, 10 cents buy-in, stuff like that. And again, I'm not deflecting or saying more won't come.
That's exactly what you're doing. Exactly. So he's on record saying that more will come because PlayStation fanboys know that this is equivalent to the Xbox, but it's only 4 games. They know it. More is coming.
Or can't come or anything like that. I'm stating that there's a lot of variables here to mess with at this point in time. And again, I'm not prefacing saying, hold on, let's not freak out yet. Again, I don't like to see exclusives go, and that's just kind of what happens.
Well, that's what's going on.
But that's just the way of the world. I've stated multiple times in multiple videos that could potentially happen. And here we see a little bit of that happening.
No, you didn't. You said PlayStation wasn't full on third party. That's exactly what you said. Like, now you out here capping, trying to save face, man. It took you 5 days to respond with this garbage? That's what you said. Oh, they're not full-on third-party like Xbox. Sony would never publish their games the way that Xbox is publishing their games on PS5. That's exactly what you said. Just to find out that, you guys already had your excuses that when that new Xbox handheld came out, it's not an Xbox. But now you can't damage control this. You can't. PlayStation publishing right in the thing. Sony's not hiding it anymore.
However, let's keep going with more of the salt here. The Gaming Prophet NYC now, port begging at its finest, of course, because...
now they're port beggars? But when you was getting Xbox games, that wasn't port begging? Hold on, let me get this straight. And you can't blame us on Xbox gamers, because some of them didn't even think these games was going to come in the first place, including you PlayStation fanboys. So how are you going to call them port beggars when you guys were the ones doing it all along? Eating Gears of War Reload, eating all these games up that you're getting, and you're calling them port beggars? Now, I'll say one thing. PlayStation gave one of their latest titles, and Microsoft has been giving you a lot of older games. Now, if you want to count the Bethesda, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, that's fine, whatever. Like I said. But Sony gave out one of their cream of the crops, is what I'm saying, right off the gate. So that shows me right there that they're planning to put more games on Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know why they would even have time for PlayStation games because, well, they have so many games in Game Pass they can't even get to it.
So you're admitting that Xbox has games. Games still with another W.
Here, they're not even asking for the games just to arrive on the Xbox ecosystem, folks. They're asking for them to arrive in Game Pass because that's totally would be smart on Sony's end, is putting those and cannibalizing sales.
It seems like you're salty, man. You're falling for these troll posts right here, bro. Claiming that, oh, everybody else is salty. What is there to be salty about? Now, mind you, I'm not here for this whole, Pokemon trade game center that y'all got going on. Because at the end of the day, I got a PS5. Okay? And, hold on. I have an Xbox. Me as a consumer, I'm telling you from a multi-console point of view, I'm not benefiting. They're like, what? What do you mean? This is more game. I'm not benefiting. If I want to play Helldivers 2, I can play it right now. If I want to play Gears of War, I can play it right now. Explain to me where I'm benefiting. You're like, oh, Snack Games, I see what you're saying. You know who's really being impacted by this? Multi-console owners, people that pick up multiple consoles. Because you putting Spider-Man on Xbox, and I already have access to the game on PlayStation, to me, I really don't care about that. This is only applying to the people that don't have a PS5 or don't have an Xbox Series, and they can't play the game. Do you get what I'm saying? This is the only people that this is really benefiting. The only thing I'm really benefiting is from the laughs and the salt that you guys keep providing for us. That's it. People's like, oh, you're going to buy games for that Xbox handheld. I know you are. No, But it's definitely funny to see him there. I'll say that. I'll say that much. It's definitely funny to see him there. Just like I see PlayStation games popping up on Xbox. I ain't supporting any of them because I don't even care enough to support them on PlayStation. Why would I even continue to buy them on Xbox? I don't care, bro. This means absolutely nothing to me.
By putting just a small chunk of change in their pocket to put those in Game Pass. As you can see, Spider-Man 2, God of War, Horizon, Demon's Souls, etc., etc. You see the whole setup, but poor begging at its finest. You just...
If this is port begging, then what have you PlayStation fanboys been doing for the past 2 years, though? With High Five Rush, Sea of Thieves, Grounded. What are y'all talking about? PlayStation fanboys talking about port begging when that's all... When all the best games on PlayStation is Xbox titles? What?
They're just preying on the downfall in the direction of PlayStation at this point in time.
No, we're praying for the downfall of you fanboys. And to be honest with you, I'm quite happy about it.
It's pretty funny because as we went over in my last video, right, or a couple videos ago, in regards to Xbox's status, the unfortunate layoffs, the direction they're having, nothing set in stone. I mean, just completely in shambles, a shell of their former selves.
How could they be a shell of their former selves if Microsoft was never good in the first place, according to y'all? That makes absolutely sense. If Microsoft has always been bad, how can they be... It's like, you get what I'm saying? How can they be worse than what they were already bad at? You guys acted as if Microsoft was, well, during the 360. They still hold on to that. The glorious days of the Xbox 360. I mean, I can say the same thing about Sony. The glorious days of the PS1 and 2, even the 3. You know, those days is not going on right now, man. And it's completely irrelevant as to what's going on with gaming as of right now, currently.
And this is what they're hoping for. And that Helldivers 2 announcement certainly gave them that glimmer of hope. But
it's not a glimmer of hope because there's more games coming. And nobody cares about the layoffs. Nobody cares about that because that's not what console wars do, though. Like, you guys are just fighting and nitpicking off everything. I thought console wars was about the games. And that's what it is. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Nobody talked about the finances of those games. They just talked about the games that they was getting. Let's keep this consistent. If we're talking about console wars, now mind you, I don't engage in them, but I'm saying that if we're talking about console wars in that grand scheme of things, it's the games. It's never been about the finances. It's never... See, this is what I don't understand. You guys claim that this is a console war, but all you guys have become is financial advisors for these companies. Nobody cares, bro. I'm looking at as to what I'm getting. And Microsoft, unfortunately for you fanboys, is giving the most out of the games. So therefore, yes, Xbox as of right now is a very preferable console for me. It is what it is. They are pushing out the most games. I go where the games go. I don't care about all this exclusivity, financial layoff, employees. Okay, yes, it happens. I know it's very unfortunate. Games get canceled. It happened, bro. You guys act like I haven't seen this in the past 30 years. This is nothing new. You get what I'm saying? There's so many games that I wanted to play that got canceled. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit there and get on my knees and go, oh, my perfect dog. Like, bro, you people need to grow up.
Let's keep going here. Clute, of course, is back on here. I mean, they're a corporation. I mean, you'd have to... You're asking Xbox fans to do something truly spectacular here, Jazz. Something truly profound, something enlightening. That is to actually buy those games, actually to purchase games, not just...
I've actually seen quite a few people on Xbox pre-order this game on my friend list. Like, I'm being honest. Like, there was actually quite a few. So they are definitely buying it. Don't get it twisted. They're definitely buying it. And I think a lot of these Xbox dudes are going to buy the game, just for the fanboys at least, just to make a statement. And they are doing it. They are most definitely. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of Xbox dudes have the same. It was like 16, because they'll tell you, like, when you look at the game, they'll tell you who owns it on your friend list. And a lot of them own it, that I know. So you can't sit there and say that nobody's buying these games, because they are.
Through Game Pass and that rental mentality here. So that's a big ask. First of all,
you know, it's a rental mentality is paying for PlayStation Premium and getting 2-hour trials to games. Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you guys just don't realize how bad PlayStation is doing, y'all. Imagine paying a tier service of premium and then giving you the audacity to play a game for 2 hours. Bro, that 2 hours is going to be wasted just watching one of their cinematics. What are you talking about, bro? Xbox is giving you the game day and date, play it full all the way from the beginning to the end. And you guys, like, this is what I'm saying, man. Y'all don't see the problems of PlayStation. It's crazy to me.
That first step is a big ask, but we'll see what happens here. I think Helldivers 2 is a perfect game to port over to if you're thinking as a businessman. It fits that dude bro shooter mentality that's always been synonymous with the Xbox.
Which means that they will buy it.
Gaming culture, right? That's just kind of how those
You got to realize Xbox and PC gamers are very much alike. So the fact that this game did well on PC is more likely going to do well on Xbox due to the fact of, like what you said, the dude bro mentality, which is very reminiscent with Xbox. You just proved as to how this game is going to be successful on the console.
Together more than what would be like a JRPG, right? Let's, I mean, this is right up the alley. So it is going to be interesting to see how well the sales do. I expect this to be somewhat decent. Like Mystic Ryan was saying in the beginning, I told you with a bunch of crying, laughing emojis, PlayStation does full third-party, exclusives are dead.
There we go.
If exclusives are dead, this is a generalized statement here, by the way. He's not saying PlayStation exclusives are dead. Nintendo's still having first-party exclusives. They're still
No, they're not. No, they're not. You're like, GameStop, why you always do this? Why you always got somebody have a good point, and then you got to come in and humble them? That's not true. Because I can't consider, listen, Metroid Prime, that's cross-gen, bro. A lot of that stuff that Nintendo's got going on is cross-gen. Okay? I still think a game's not exclusive. An exclusive to me is PS5 only. An exclusive to me is Switch 2 only. An exclusive to me is Xbox Series S and X only. That is a real exclusive. Okay? That is a real exclusive. Let's stop the cap. Let's keep it at 100. That's what a real exclusive is. Only accessed and played on this device. No PC, no anything. Just the platform. Right? That's how I see as exclusives. So, according to that, then you're going to have people say, oh, it's a Nintendo exclusive. Oh, okay, well, it's still not an exclusive because I can still play it on the Switch 1. Do you get what I'm saying? That's not an exclusive. I don't care what anybody says. You guys can downplay damage control, spin the narratives of what an exclusive is. It's full-on third-party, limited third. It doesn't matter. All I'm going to say is that if the game is on another platform, it ain't exclusive.
Party exclusives on PlayStation, yes, that's a thing. And we're talking about console exclusives. We're talking about however you want to state that. Nintendo probably will be the last of the entities to have full-on first-party exclusives, just an FYI.
Sony, Nintendo's also going to be doing the same thing. I'm telling people, and I'm going to come right after you, Nintendo fans. I'm already in preparation for this. That's what y'all don't get. I'm telling you, Nintendo fans, you need to humble yourself because I'm telling you, you ain't that really far apart. So, like I said, and I'll say it one more time, Xbox fans are the new PC fans, PlayStation fans are the new Xbox fans, and Nintendo fans are the new PlayStation ones. I'm telling you, defending game key cards, DRM, license keys. They're defending, saying the Switch 2 is the most powerful next generation leap. Bro, playing you know what? Let me break it down again. Cross-generation games. You're like, oh, snap games. You're right. They're acting like ponies now. Now when you sit there and talk to a Switch 2 owner, now they can sit there and say, oh, we got 60 FPS and Tears of Kingdom and Breath of... I'm like, hold on. This argument sounds familiar because that's what PlayStation dude said about God of War Ragnarok and Horizon on the PS5. They're like, oh, snap games, so you're right. Bro, I am so good at breaking things down. These people don't even realize.
See them budging whatsoever. They are very...
no. They most definitely budging.
Hard-headed, if you will, and they're going to be the last ones of the three that will have true exclusives across the board.
As of right now, yes.
But again, they're praying for the downfall of PlayStation. I will tell you this, folks. For those that are upset, and I get why you're upset, and if more exclusives were to follow, I understand. However,
and they will.
That's not going to affect PlayStation like you think it would affect PlayStation. Now, again, I agree. Exclusives should stay exclusives. That's just how it is. How
can something stay exclusive if it was never exclusive in the first place?
Betterment in an ecosystem. However, they're not putting their games day one on some sort of subscription service. Game Pass truly was the dagger that stabbed.
It's so funny that we keep talking about Game Pass. I'm going to tell you something. They don't want to be honest. The reason why they don't like Xbox Game Pass, because as you can see, it's the reason why things like this are happening. You guys keep saying, oh, Game Pass is failing, Game Pass, okay, whatever. Then why are we starting to see companies make shifts that we never would have thought they would have made shifts on? You guys keep saying that Xbox is failing, but yet you got companies following that mindset. What it is that they know that Microsoft's vision is successful, and they know that other companies such as PlayStation themselves are going to want to replicate it. That is what's dangerous, which also means that Sony or whoever that decides to follow that trend, they know that those days of the 1990s is over. That mindset that you guys are still having as old-fashioned is done. It's completed.
Xbox in the back, so to speak, and that ruined that ecosystem to that point in general.
It ruined it so much that we're getting your games, we're getting Game Pass day and dates. I mean, you had even Porter Roach complain about before Xbox, Sony gave that game to them before they gave it to you.
Exclusives are extremely huge and important to any ecosystem for sure.
How so?
But you couple that with a subscription service.
How so, though? How so? Because Death Stranding 2 selling abysmal. Final Fantasy, the Square themselves told you that the exclusivity deal with what they did with Sony ruined them as a company, and they probably would never go back to it. You got to explain yourself. You got to use a game as an example. You guys have no real games to use as an example. You can't even use cross-gen. I want real exclusives. Until Dawn Remake sold trash. You guys still can't express where exclusives is dominating in this grand scheme market.
Available day one on there. That's the real component to make that a downtrodden effect there, right? That's what we're looking at there. So as far as that, if you are upset at that, you want to go PC, by all means, do what you got to do.
I ain't going nowhere. Listen, hold on. Let me end this video real quick. I'm gonna tell you something right now. Right? Hold on. Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, you guys weren't supposed to see this? Oh. Does this make you angry? Because if it does, then clearly you are in a severe case of pony dust. It's not that serious. You people need to grow up, understand that the days of exclusivity is over. You could use Nintendo to cope and cap as much as you want. But at the end of the day, Sony ain't no Nintendo. So let's stop it right there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. And like I said, bro, the days of PlayStation 5, look at that. I've had PlayStation fanboys tell me, oh, we're going to turn off crossplay so we don't have to play with Xbox. Okay. Because the most people that play this game is PC. So go ahead and turn off crossplay. You're going to be playing with... PlayStation gamers don't even play this game. Because I actually had it when I was used, and there was barely anybody on it. If anybody was playing, it was the PC gamer. So if you turn crossplay and you saying that Xbox gamers ain't going to buy the game, well, guess what? You're going to have less players to play with in a cooperative game. Watch this game get toxic. At this point, they might as well put a PvP mode. Maybe this might be the best time. Because maybe you guys can settle your differences online. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. And like I said, take care. Peace out.